Welcome to Keeping It Real with Dr. Lil. I am so glad to be back online, and it's been some great things happening. Thank God for the community. Thank God for people who hear and see and hear can get us information and help us along in our communities in which we live. So that has been tying up my time, the opportunities that has been presenting themselves. You have to sometimes sit and see what you can do because you know you can't do everything. But I'm so glad to be back with Keeping It Real with Dr. Lil. My name is Dr. Lily M. Coley, and I'm here to help empower you. Today, I had a couple things I wanted to talk about. The first thing I wanted to talk about is something with the community portion, or what we call the legal story of the Keeping It Real segments. We had some persons that came to us and they were very enthusiastic about helping the community be empowered about certain circumstances going on in the courtrooms and outside of the courtrooms as it involves attorneys and judges who are not considered to be ethical. For an example, we had some people that came to us and some experiences we kind of know about on our own where misinformation has been what they call the soup of the day, or a person has been using that particular misinformation or fraud, if you will, to help themselves be enriched. So in other words, they're using the fraud to profit from it. There's been some articles I saw out there that were very powerful about following the money. So one of the things you have to do, even with this case, is follow the money. Sometimes people want to bully people in the community, or even myself, can you imagine that? Bully you so that they can try to do whatever they want with the system into doing what they want. We all know it doesn't work. We've been educated, most of us, we know about certain things. We don't maybe not know all the aspects, but we know that our economy and our system and our world is designed to work. You just got to follow it. And whenever you get people who are trying to break the law, bend the law, or twist it, that is an aha moment, a moment when you can look and say, I know that's the path I probably want to go down because that's the path they're trying to avoid. So for an example, dealing with certain circumstances in the courtroom or even outside of the courtroom, as you go into these particular environments, whether it be a preliminary type board or some other kind of committee meetings where you need to provide the information so that you can help yourself in the concern you may have in your community. We have been getting so many annotated informations regarding that, regarding people going into certain circumstances in their communities and just having problems. As you most already know, we're connected to legal, what we call legal groups, legal clinics in different states, particularly Philadelphia and some other places, who work behind the scenes. And you know, an attorney, if once an attorney finds or sees unethical, they have to, by the breach of their professional conduct, report it. So basically, you've been reported, guys. So everybody understands it to be true that when you run into a circumstance or situation, you have to find yourself where you need to be in terms of whether you want to go left or right. Sometimes you may not know, and that's okay. What you have to do for sure is try to use some of the clinics. They have legal clinics both on the state level and the city, where you can try to compare notes and get information that you need. Anything that's used in the court, as I said it 100 times and I'll keep saying it, it can't be used if it was based on fraud. Nobody needs to tell you that you did fraud. If you knew you did fraud, whether it be an attorney or a judge, eventually the community is going to find you out. The community can be a layperson, or it can be another attorney, or it can be another judge. Nonetheless, all fraud has to be exposed in order for it to be dealt with. You can't take the fraud, benefit from the fraud, profit from the fraud, and then use the fraud again to get what you want. There's an article that I'm referring to that some of you, many of you know, that's out there about how some judges and attorneys were profiting from fraud, using fraud, and then doing it over and over again, and thinking that somebody was going to sit back and let you do it. That would be abuse. So there's many avenues that you can take. And as I said earlier, I'm so glad for the community because some of you have come to us and given us some great information on what you did in your circumstances, how you succeeded. And then also some of you are exposing us to things that we wasn't sure about, but kind of know now. Nonetheless, it is what it is. You have to use your legislations, your senators, and all the persons around you in your community. And it may not just be in your state. If something, especially is cross state lines, or either other persons are involved with it in different jurisdictions, use it and use it wisely. So I want to thank you all for being patient with us with the Keeping It Real with Dr. Lil. I'm going to continue to move on. We're going to continue to do the podcast. Nothing has changed. Everything will remain the same. And the truth, once again, will always prevail. No matter what you try to do, it's still coming forth. So we're thankful to that. And as we come forth to give you the truth about whatever circumstance the situation is, we're asking you to pass it on to help other people and also to do what you've been called to do. So thank you for watching the Keeping It Real with Dr. Lil. I'll be back again to give you another segment so that you can be empowered. You can be encouraged. Don't give up, no matter what happens, because the minute you give up, that's when something's going to come through and that's going to be done. Don't give up. And don't give in to anything that is that's unlawful and you know not to be correct. Thank you so much. God bless. We'll look forward to talking with you soon. This is Dr. Lily M. Coley, checking out, calling out, leaving you guys on Keeping It Real with Dr. Lil. Thank you so much and God bless. Thank you all again for being such a great sport and just sticking in there so that we can do what we need to do, so we can do what we have to do in order for you to get what you got to get. Working together is a very important thing. The community must work together with the legislators and all those around them in order to get the job done. This is a perfect time of the year to make sure you listen and listen well and look at who is running for office, what's happening. And this is local. This is the local, what you call it, elections right now. So be mindful. Be mindful that you need to help empower yourself and those around you by electing people in office that you know are doing what they need to do for the people. They've been elected by the people, in most cases, put in by the people. They're being paid by the people. So you have to do what you can do to make sure they're the right people for the right time. Thank you so much. God bless. Looking forward to talking with you soon. This is Dr. Lily M. Coley on Keeping It Real with Dr. Lil. You'll also be seeing and hearing about the podcast. We got some other guests coming in. We're doing some other things where it's not just on my station, under us, some other stations and stuff. So God is working it out so that we can collaborate together and also do some solo things together. Thank you so much. God bless and look forward to talking with you soon.